Teaching the recall, also known as come. The most important point about the recall or come is to know when you do not call your dog. And it's best to start off the recall in the house where there's minimal distractions and from a very short distance. Don't expect to take them to the dog beach and call them and have them come. Another important aspect of the come is that it is always rewarded. Every time a dog comes, they don't just get one treat, they have a fine dining experience. So you can get a treat, break it up, give them one, break up, give them another one, and another one, get another treat, break it up and give it to them. It's a fine dining experience. You also need to practice with the dog, having them come to you and then releasing them to go and play, so that they learn that because you've called them, it doesn't necessarily mean that the play stops. For example, if they're playing with their toy and you call them away from the toy and they come, you can immediately send them back to play with their toy. That way they realise that a recall doesn't necessarily mean the end of the fun. The first game to play to teach the recall is the come to bowl game. We do this by putting some treats in the dog's food bowl. We step forward, put the bowl down and say, come! Oh, you know why that's happened. Go! Alright, that's not going to work, is it? Oh, fine. Okay, we'll do it at this angle. Ta-da! Sit. If I face her, and that won't matter. Alright, start again. The first recall game to play is to get your dog bowl and call your dog to the bowl. So you can stand here, put the bowl down, come, and let the dog have the food. You can play this every night before the dog has their meal. The next game to play is the patting the thighs and saying come to the dog. Sit. So, like this. Come. Yes. And once again, I'm going to do the fine dining. So Specs doesn't get just one treat. She gets a few. Another game to play is the emergency exit game. And dogs really like this. This is a game that can help you get your dog out of danger. For example, if you're walking along and suddenly a snake slithers in front of you, you can use a word. My word is eject, 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 and the dog will run with you. I'll demonstrate with Specs. Specs, sit. I'm going to throw a treat to distract Specs. Get her! Eject, eject, eject! And once again, I give Specs a fine dining experience. We can later on turn this into an emergency U-turn. This is something you can use if you're walking along and suddenly a dog is about to confront your dog. You can quickly turn around and you and the dog run away. This might happen also if you've got a dog that doesn't like skateboarders and suddenly a skateboard's in front of you. Anything that you need to get your dog out of the way of. We'll demonstrate this. So, Spitz, you might be walking along. Leave. Yes. Just like this. And suddenly, you see a skateboarder. And you turn the dog away and run away from the disturbing experience. We then have another game, and this is an excellent game to play at the dog park. What happens with this, you reinforce every time your dog connects with you. So I'm going to simulate Specs being distracted by throwing a treat. What I'm going to do, I'm going to throw the treat, Specs will go and get it, and I'm going to mark with a yes when she comes back and re-engages with me. Like this. Get it! Yes! And I might throw another one. Get it! Yes! You can do this on a very long lead. I'm not using a long lead because I will end up going out of range of the camera. But once these behaviours are happening on a short lead, you can then extend it to a long lead and eventually practice these emergency exits and the reconnection game with the dog off the lead.